My son promised I could retire peacefully in their guest home. After I moved in, my daughter-in-law told me, "You can only stay if you clean daily and stay out of sight when we have guests." One evening, she publicly shamed me at a dinner party, saying, "He's just our live-in grandpa butler." She didn't realize the next person walking through the door would change everything. I didn't think I'd end up like this. 68 years old, standing in someone else's kitchen at 10 at night, scrubbing wine stains out of a marble counter I paid for, while people I didn't know laughed 10 feet away like I didn't exist. But that's exactly where I was. And the worst part, it didn't happen all at once. It crept in slow, quiet like mold behind a wall. My name's Rafael Cortez. I spent 42 years building something real, not flashy, not some big tech nonsense, just a logistics company out of San Antonio. Started with one truck, grew it into something that fed a lot of families, including my own. I wasn't rich, but I was comfortable, owned my home outright, had savings, had respect. Or at least I thought I did. My son Mateo used to call me every Sunday. "Pop, when are you gonna slow down? Pop, you've done enough. Pop, you should come live with us, we got space." He said it so many times it started to feel like truth. So when I retired, I sold my house. Figured I didn't need that much space anymore. My wife had passed years back. The place felt too quiet anyway. Mateo and his wife, Sabrina, had this big house out in Frisco. Nice neighborhood, clean streets, the kind of place where people pretend everything's perfect. They had a guest house out back. "Your own space," Mateo said. "Total privacy, you'll love it." I believed him. That was my first mistake. The guest house looked nice from the outside. Inside, it was half finished. No proper heating, cheap fixtures, the bathroom door didn't even close right. But I didn't complain. "You just got here," Mateo said. "We'll fix things up over time." Over time. Funny phrase. Because things did change over time. Just not the way I expected. It started small. "Rafael, could you help unload groceries? Rafael, can you pick up the kids? Rafael, can you take a look at the sink? It's acting weird." I didn't mind, that's family, right? Then it shifted. "Make sure the kitchen's clean before we get back. Don't forget to vacuum the living room. Can you handle dinner tonight? I've got a headache." That one came from Sabrina. Always from Sabrina. She had this way of talking that sounded polite if you didn't listen too closely, like everything was wrapped in sugar, but underneath it, something sharp. I told myself I was overthinking it. Second mistake. The first time she really showed me who she was about 3 weeks in. I was wiping down the dining table, thought I did a decent job. She walked in, didn't say hello, didn't ask how I was, just ran her finger across the edge. Held it up like she found evidence. "You missed a spot." Just like that. No smile. No joke. Just judgment. I nodded, "I'll get it." She didn't move, just stood there watching me wipe the same spot again. Then she said something I'll never forget. "If you're going to stay here, Rafael, you need to be useful." Not helpful. Useful. Like I was a tool. I looked at Mateo. He was on his phone. Didn't even look up. That was the moment something inside me shifted, just a little. Not enough yet. But it cracked. A month later, the rules came. Not written down, just spoken like they'd always existed. "You should probably stay in the guest house when we have company." Some of our friends wouldn't understand. Understand what? That I existed. Then came the big one. "You can come inside," Sabrina said, "but just stay out of sight unless we need something." I actually laughed when she said that. Thought she was joking. She was. Mateo still said nothing. That was when the crack inside me got deeper. I started noticing things after that. The way Mateo avoided eye contact when Sabrina spoke to me. The way he'd tense up, then relax the second he chose not to intervene. The way he always chose the easy silence instead of the hard truth. I kept telling myself, he's just trying to keep the peace. But peace for who? Not for me. The night everything broke was the first dinner party. Big one, fancy. People dressed like they had something to prove. I spent the whole day prepping. Cleaning, cooking, setting up. Sabrina took credit for all of it, of course. By the time guests arrived, I was already tired. Didn't matter. Raphael tray, she said, like I was staff. So I carried drinks. Cleared plates. Stayed quiet. Invisible. Until I was. You missed a spot. Same words. Different night. She dragged her finger across the table again. Showed it to her guests like it was funny. And this time they laughed. Not politely. Not awkwardly. They laughed like I was part of the entertainment. Then she said it. Smiling, casual, like it was nothing. Oh, don't mind him, he's just our living grandpa butler. Something in the room shifted. Not for them. For me. Because in that moment, I saw it clear. This wasn't temporary. This wasn't misunderstanding. This was who they had decided I was. And worse, Matteo still didn't say a damn word. Then the doorbell rang. Sabrina didn't even look at me. The door. Just like that. I set the tray down and walked. Every step felt heavier than the last. I opened the door. And everything changed. Standing there was Leon Vargas. I hadn't seen him in over 15 years. Back when my company was still growing, Leon was just a kid with big ideas and no money. I took a chance on him, gave him a job, taught him the business. He turned that into something massive. Way bigger than anything I ever built. And now he was standing on my son's porch, smiling like he just found something he'd been missing. Raphael, he said, and pulled me into a hug before I could react. Behind him were two men in suits. Not decoration. Real presence. What are you doing here? I asked. Looking for you, he said. We didn't go back inside right away. We stood there under that porch light, while laughter from inside kept going like nothing mattered. Leon got straight to it. I tried reaching you, he said, after you retired. I changed numbers, I said. Yeah, I noticed. He looked past me into the house. Then back at me. This where you've been? I didn't answer. Didn't need to. He saw enough. You don't belong here, he said. Funny thing is, he didn't say it like an insult. He said it like a fact. Then he dropped it. I want you back. I laughed. Back where? With me, board position, advisory, hell, just show up and tell people what they're doing wrong, I don't care. I shook my head. That part of my life is done. He stepped closer. Is it, or did you just walk away because you thought this was better? That hit harder than I expected. I looked through the window. Saw Sabrina laughing. Saw Matteo sitting there, quiet, comfortable. Like everything was fine. I made a promise to my son, I said. Leon didn't blink. And did he keep his? I didn't answer. Because I finally knew the truth. The next week, I stopped ignoring things. I started paying attention. Every order. Every insult. Every time I was treated like I didn't matter. I even started writing it down. Not because I needed proof for them. Because I needed proof for myself. That I wasn't imagining it. By the end of the week, I didn't need the notebook anymore. I was done lying to myself. The second dinner party was bigger. More people. More noise. More pretending. Sabrina went all out. Candles, catering, wine she couldn't pronounce. And me. Same role. Shadow. But this time I was ready. The doorbell rang again. Sabrina smiled, already talking. Oh good, Raphael finally. She turned and stopped, because it wasn't just Leon this time. It was Leon and me walking in behind him. Not holding a tray. Not looking down. Standing straight. The room went quiet. You could feel it. That shift when people realize something's off. Sabrina forced a laugh. Oh wow, what a surprise. Actually, Leon said, cutting her off, this is long overdue. He stepped forward. Calm, confident. Rafael Cortez, he said, loud enough for everyone, is the man who built the backbone of my company. Everything I have started with him. Now they weren't laughing. Now they were whispering. Sabrina tried to recover. That's a sweet but. I set the folder on the table. Let's clear something up. Mateo finally looked at me. Dad, what is this? I opened the folder. Remember when I sold my house? His face changed immediately. Yeah, he remembered. The money from that sale, I said, was used to buy this property. Sabrina's smile froze. In my name. Silent. Heavy. Ugly. Real. Mateo stood up. You said it was just easier. I said I trusted you, I replied. Big difference. Sabrina stepped forward, voice tight. This is not the time or place. No, I said, the wrong time was every moment I stayed quiet. I slid the last paper toward her. She looked down, and I watched it hit her. Hard. Eviction notice. You've got 30 days, I said. The room exploded into whispers. Mateo looked like he'd been punched. Dad, please, this is crazy. I looked straight at him. You let it happen. His voice broke, I didn't know what to do. Yeah, I said, you did. That one landed. Because it was true. I turned to leave. Leon was already at the door. But I stopped for 1 second. Didn't look back. Dinner over. And I walked out. Here's the twist nobody saw coming. Not even me. 2 weeks later, Mateo showed up at my apartment. Alone? No, Sabrina. He looked different. Tired, worn down. Can we talk? He asked. I let him in. We sat. Long silence. Then he said something I didn't expect. She's leaving me. I didn't react. Just waited. She didn't marry me for me, he said. It was the house, the lifestyle. When she realized it wasn't hers, everything changed. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was predictable. Then he looked at me. Really looked. I'm sorry, he said. Simple. No excuses. No blaming. Just sorry. And for the first time in a long time. I believed him. But here's the thing about damage. Some of it doesn't undo. You don't just go back. You move forward. Different. I helped him. Not by giving him everything back. But by showing him how to stand on his own. Same way I had to. As for Sabrina, she tried fighting the eviction. Tried dragging things out. Didn't work. She left with less than she came in with. Funny how that works. Me, I took Leon's offer. Not for the money. Not for the power. But because I wasn't done. Just done being invisible. And I made one decision that mattered more than anything else. I stopped confusing love with tolerance. Because real family doesn't make you earn your place at the table. And they sure as hell don't turn you into the help.